Hi, this is your host Swapnil Bhartiya, and today we are going to talk about CBT Tape and Open Mainframe Project. And today we have three guests with us. We have with us Lionel Dyck, contributor to the CBT Tape project. We have with us Sam Golob, maintainer of the CBT Tape project, and then we also have once again John Mertic, director of program management at the Open Mainframe Project. Sam, John, Lionel, it's great to have you all on the show.
Thank you very much.
Sam, I will start with you. Tell me, what is CBT Tape?
The CBT tape is a vast, enormous collection of user-written software that caters to the IBM MVS operating system, which runs many, many businesses all over the world. And it's been in existence for 46 years. The founder of it, his name is Arnold Casinghino. He ran it for the first 15 years, and he did an unbelievably excellent job, thorough, careful job of collecting everybody's software and making sure that it was properly posted and recorded on tapes. When Arnie could not do it anymore because they were taking the tape drives away from his data center, I figured out a way how to, I was friends with him for 2 years before that. So I figured out a way how I could maintain it. And I've maintained it for 31 years since then.
As you took over from Arnie, are you also kind of, ensuring a process where someone else can take over from you as well?
I'll tell you what. This is something that the public needs very, very badly. And it's not easy to find somebody who's dedicated to it. So right now, I'm doing it. I hope to do it as long as I can, for maybe a very long time. I have a lot of fun doing it, and the world needs it. So we'll leave it at that.
In today's world, who is still, using it?
My estimate is that just about every ZOS shop in the world has some part of it in it. And if they don't have any part in it from the CBT tape directly, they have it in it from IBM, because the people who wrote things on the CBT tape were more innovative than IBM was. And in certain regards, in regard to the software that they wrote. And for example, I'll give you just one example. IBM, when they made their big utility to look at files called ISPF, you can browse a file, you can edit a file, you can copy files. They're all on separate menus. They're all on separate file lists. You have to go from the browse file list to the edit file list in order to edit the program. We have a product called PDS, which is a free product that's been on the CBT tape for many years, and I would say it's about 45 years old, but it's been constantly developed ever since. And from one menu, you can do 60 different things to the same member. You can say B for browse, you can say E for edit, you can compare it from one to the other, to another member, and so on. You can do about 60 different functions from the same menu. So IBM has started to take that up, but theirs is nowhere near as good as ours. And so you see that the enhancements that IBM made because people saw our stuff and made suggestions to IBM to improve their stuff, that's on every IBM system.
John, I want to ask you, can you share some historic anecdotes that when and how CBT tape came to the Open Mainframe project?
CBT tape, and Sam probably even underscores this a bit. You ask anyone who's been in the mainframe industry for any amount of time, they'll tell you how CBT tape made an impact on what they were doing. They know a story of using a tool off of there. They might have helped put a tool on there. It's something that's sort of written to the origin story, you could argue, of the mainframe world. And we were really fortunate enough to make some connections with Sam and Lionel, and as they were sort of thinking about how this project moves forward. And for us, a project like this is really, really interesting from a lot of perspectives. One of just the sustainability and seeing a project like this that has such an important impact on the mainframe world, making sure we can carry it forward. But also really the historical precedent. I mean, if you counted up the numbers that Sam was adding there of how long this goes back into as a formal project into the 1970, and the code on there goes back even farther. It goes back into the 50s, which that's where you start to trace the early days of open source at events like Share, which came together as a way to collaborate on code. I mean, back in the day, how you did it was much different. They didn't have GitHub, you didn't have all those things, but that's collaboration happened. And with Arnie coming into the picture here and collecting all this together, from where we can tell, this is one of the first open source projects ever on our planet. Like, think about that. Like, one of the first ones. And if you look at sort of the ingredients there, you have a maintainer, Arnie, and now Sam in here. You have people contributing code into there. You have releases. You have sort of a governance structure of how the tape gets produced. I mean, those are all the ingredients of open source today. So for us here, there was just seeing that this artifact, seeing of something that's made such a huge impact. When they came to us and it came to our technical advisory council, I think everyone in unison was excited to see a project like this be something that we have the opportunity to help support and carry forward. And especially with, like I said, everyone in the audience saying they had a personal story on how this tape saved their butt at one moment in time. So it's really fascinating.
And Open Mainframe Project, you folks have very, well-established governance. But if I ask you, what kind of support are you providing to this specific project?
We're helping get them infrastructure to build and being able to develop. And I talk with Sam, from time to time, and he tells me stories of retired and current mainframe sysadmins and programmers and developers that have come to him and saying, hey, I have this tool, I need a system to write it on. And he's like, great, I have a system you can have access to. So we've been really starting there of helping provide that level of infrastructure, and then just working to partner, making people aware of through great programs like this one here. And then I think over time, just finding more ways to help support and make it so that, Sam and the army of contributors and developers out there can really continue to focus on building this out, and we can help provide the infrastructure to support it.
Excellent. Lionel,
Excellent. Lionel, I'll come to you now. Can you tell me, when did you get involved with the project?
Oh, boy. I remember meeting Arnie at one point in time, long time ago, before the dawn of time, I think. And I've been contributing because I've been blessed to have management that supports sharing software in the open source environment. I remember the first thing I shared was a deck of cards that I put in the mail. And then it progressed to tape. So I've been doing it for a long time.
So as you have also seen a lot of people, coming, joining, contributing, and, moving out. Is there any anecdote that you can share with us where, that was the exciting thing where you see with either at the open source angle or the people who are coming to the project?
I see a lot of folks that come and join the CBT project. They've written tools within their own shop. In many cases, their tools that they develop are based upon tools they found on the CBT tape, and they'll enhance them, or they'll use what they learned from that. People will use what they find on the CBT tape to learn how to do things. So we'll see new projects, contributions to the tape from people who have been using stuff on the tape.
Excellent. And if I ask you, can you talk about, what is the specific contribution, or if we ask, what contribution are you making to the project, what would that be?
Oh boy. I don't know, Sam can correct me. I think I've got 5 or 6 files on the CBT tape right now that are mine, of various things, and then a couple others that I'm a contributor to or maintainer of. In each one of those files, in most cases, at least three or four of them, those files contain more than one particular project or application. I think one of them contained 56 different tools in one of those files.
If I ask you from your perspective, as you have been involved with the project for such a long time, and this is, as I said, your perspective, or when I look at you, I also look at the community. How is Open Mainframe Project or the Linux Foundation kind of helping folks like you who are passionate about the project?
Well, I think the biggest thing that the Open Mainframe Project did for us was to help us to find a new mainframe, a new platform on which we can continue to develop, because we've got a number of folks, a number of developers, like you mentioned, that were retired. They obviously don't have a mainframe. Others, they work at a company where they have mainframe access, but their employer does not allow them to contribute code to the open source world. They're prevented from doing that by using their work computer. So giving them access to the CBT computer provided by Open Mainframe gives them that flexibility. Now they can do their code, their development, and it gets contributed to the open source environment.
Sam, Lionel, John, thank you so much for taking time out today and talk about CBT Tape project. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sure that viewers will enjoy this discussion too. Thank you.